Well, you ever had that significant other in your life that you just can't seem to get along with, but you also can't seem to not want to hang out with them? Well, there you go. Well, grab yourself a cold one and join me while I try to convince myself that this car that I've been working on for 2 years is still fun to work on. Yeah, still fun to work on. All right, well, in a strange turn of events, I took the time to clean off the table, get organized. It's like my little brother's working with me. He'd be yelling at me for my shop being dirty. So what do you do when the damn thing don't run, huh? When you're waiting on parts? Well, I got a whole brake system here. Well, not really a whole brake system. I mean, brake lines are on the car, the discs are on the car, the front brakes are complete, but I got a drift brake. I've got some Tesla parts, and it's all stuff that needs to go on the car. Don't you want to just punch me in the face with these glasses on? God, this is why I need an editor or something, or like a video person, because I look like an idiot. Sound like one. Anyhow, so first item, Sickie hydraulic drift brake. Yes. And Willwood master cylinder for said drift brake. One of the things I hate the most about a DeLorean, let's be honest with you, like, I don't really care what the purists say or how offended they get by watching this. They're built like crap. And if you know what you're doing and you maintain them and you fix some of the problems, then they're not so bad. Alright, so I got a bunch of, well, I don't know what that is, electrical connections. Here's the accoutrement. It's a wrecked 2015 Model S iBooster. Part number 103712-3-00-alpha. There we go, right there. And this is an electric brake booster, so no vacuums required, which is good because I deleted the vacuum pump on my Ecoboost and got rid of all the vacuum hardlines. What else do we have in here? We got some brake caliper pads. So one thing it's not finished about the back brakes is the fact that I have a custom one-off setup back there that my uncle machined, that I designed and my uncle did the machine work on, but I still have to mount the calipers. Now, one thing that is going to be unique about this car is a lot of guys are using these Willwood, what do they call these things? Power lights. Part number 120-8729. Okay? A lot of guys are using these on the front of the car, but I decided I want to be able to have the same caliper on all four wheels, and really the weight of this car is in the back of the car, and the back brakes are terrible. Another thing that I just cannot stand. So I went ahead and shoved the biggest discs I could possibly fit back there. And these things, man, I don't know how heavy they are. I'd say 1.5 cans of beer. That's pretty good. So we have to make mounts for that because those are custom. Probably won't get to that today. But if I lay all these parts out on the table in an organized fashion, then I'm more apt to do something with them. What do we got here? Oh, so I saved myself a little fabrication and used some dirt track caliper mounts for the back. So these will bolt to the calipers, and then all I've got to do is make a simple adapter for this to bolt to. So I tell you, when you want to make your own custom parts, our friends in the dirt track community and the drag racing world, there's a lot of stuff out there that if you take a little time and use a little ingenuity, you don't need bolt-on stuff for. All right, well, clevis for the brake pedal. Oh yeah, 2 hard lines for the rear of the car that I haven't installed yet. And these come with the front brake kit that I have on my car, which is from Flying Miata, and I'm not going to use them. What else do we got here? A bunch of hex head bolts. I'm sure I bought those for a reason. And whoop, 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 whoop. That's the hardware run away from us. All right. Look at all this hardware that's just laying in the box. Okie dokie. What do we got here? All right, so a guy named Merrick in the DeLorean community, I forget what country he's from. Ah, the UK. So this brake booster has to be mounted at a certain angle, and he made this awesome piece here that I thought I was gonna have to make myself, but look at that thing. Stainless welds are nice. It's thicker than the stock unit, so it won't flex as much, because this eye booster is gonna put out a lot more force on that mount and that pedal than the old crappy vacuum booster did. So this is pretty much plug and play. I did have to do some modifications to the brake booster itself, which are well documented. I flipped the master 180, or correction, did I? Yeah, I did. And then I had to put some adapters on here to make the DeLorean brake lines fit the Tesla. And I don't remember what they are. Maybe they say what they are on them. Yeah, I don't remember. But I'm sure I can find the info if you ask for it. And then I also had to flip the brake lines for the DeLorean to the opposite side so that they'll fit. And then I had to buy some connectors, which I will have to wire myself, but the good news is that it's pretty well documented out there how to do this. A lot of the early adopters of this have provided information, and man, Teslas are starting to donate a lot of parts to a lot of different hot rods, but basically I had to buy these connectors because this thing works off electric impulse, obviously, and it has its own built-in sensor, so it can tell how much rate and how much force you're applying to it, and then it applies the appropriate brake pressure by itself. And it does that with this big giant computer brain right here on the side. So that's what all these electrical connectors are for, because I'm gonna have to wire this thing. But I'd say to start out, let's just get it in the car, huh? I'm gonna find a place for you to hang out. You can watch what I'm doing. What about right there? Bring that thing right down right there. Okay, okay. Put some things out of the way. Got my fuel brain here. Well, let me disconnect a few things and then I'll come back. Alright, I went and took this clevis off the stock one. Got an adjustable one on there that's longer, specifically for the DeLorean. And we'll show you what we're doing in here so you can see the stainless lines that I installed. And I kind of bent them out of the way. And these have flared new ends on them that match the Tesla that I don't remember the numbers, but you get the idea. But that big hole right there, where this little guy is gonna go, it's gonna be his new home. Have to move these fuel lines out of the way. Yeah, we should be able to put that guy in there and move on. There. Now, one thing about this brake booster mount is it's made out of stainless steel, and this is cast aluminum. The similar metals, usually a good idea to have a gasket. I'm going to put about 5 minutes worth of effort into this gasket, and it either works or it doesn't. Alright, there you have it. Super high-tech gasket. Well, there you have it, folks. Gasket. Alrighty then. Make things so easy to access on this car. Oh, there goes a bolt. One bolt is installed. Smells like gas. Delicious. Count them. 2. Count them. 3. Where's number 4? Stupid glasses. All right, there's 4. Now we're gonna grab these bolts here, put her in. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, I'm gonna have to do this all by feel of the magic hand. I hope that the thing don't fall out the other side. Son of a gun. Must have made this for tiny little hands to work on. Tiny little hands. Can't even see what I'm looking at here. Well, this is gonna be fun. Well, we'll return when this part's done. Boy, I tell you what, folks, getting old sucks, but I hate that job. I think my brother took that out because I hate going down there. But the new one is in. She's in. All right. Time for step number 2. All right. Let's see how this bad mamma jamma fits in here. I don't think it's gonna fit very well. Oh yeah, it's gonna take some finagling, I think. Well, I'll tell you what we're gonna do here. We're gonna take this little guy off. Yeah, we don't need that. And other than that, I'm just gonna have to force these brake lines out of the way, because this thing fits in here tight like a tiger. Fight like a tiger. Okay, there she goes. Just needs a little bit of that, you know, good old-fashioned persuasion. Tell me more. Tell me more. What is the problem? What is the problem? I think it's the coolant pipes touching. Just gotta keep massaging her in there. Oh, she's in there, folks. The brake lines are not happy. Okay, there she goes. I'm up on a brake line there. That's not important. Not at all. I think we got a fuel line pinch. That's also not really important. Okay. All right. I think she's in there. Definitely gonna have to do some brake line massaging, but there she be, matey. And look at the master cylinder reservoir. Sticks up a little bit past the surface there. That's no problem. We can either get a Model X master cylinder reservoir, or we can just cut a hole in the lid. I kind of like the idea of being able to service my brake fluid without having to take a damn panel off. There is a cover hole there, but I'm sure that won't line up. Anyhow, there. Yeah, I do not see the whole thingamabobber sticking out, so I have to mess with that. Okay, well, I don't think you want to sit here and see me put hardware on, so I'll do that next. Alright, old girl's in there. We are now Tesla iBooster equipped. Thank you to the wrecked Tesla that sacrificed itself for the greater good of a gasoline powered vehicle. Now, my neighbor Dennis got me hooked on this stuff. Loctite 567. Stuff is amazing. It'll seal anything. Really good for stainless brake lines so you don't gall the threads when you tighten them up. So the next step here is the brake lines. You can see the forward line is not bad, but the rear line gets real tight. So my recommendation would be to custom make your own brake line for this while you have the body off. Obviously it's going to take a few measurements, but there is enough length in the stock line to make it work. Well, that wasn't fun. I don't even want to tell you how long I was off camera doing that. But however, they're in. You see the brake lines are real snug on the body. So it's not my best work, but they're connected. Oh, and then Tesla iBooster is installed. Last thing we got to do is connect the actual back of the booster to the pedal, like yeah, and move on to other things. Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd rate that job a -13. I don't know. It's hot out here. It's like 115 million degrees. I had to carry groceries in for the wife. I mean, it's just, well, bottom line though, I don't even know if you can see that, but we have brakes now. Tesla iBooster installed. Actually fits in there pretty good. I mean, not sure what I'm going to do yet as far as if I'm going to make a custom cover if I'm just gonna cut a hole in my existing cover. We're well past keeping the car stock at this point. But for those of you paying attention, stainless braided line or stainless brake lines, real easy to gall. If you tighten them one time and then you take them off, they tend to leak. This is why I recommend this. Again, my buddy Dennis hooked me up with that. I did change the fittings on the lines to a metric fitting that was easier to convert, and then there's also reducers on the eye booster itself, because you can see it uses a big brake line. So only thing left for that is to wire up the electrical side of it, and I should have a brake booster. I think that's all for today. I think my next project is going to be modifying this stock handbrake bracket, and I'm gonna be mounting this bad boy down in here, just like the factory parking brake, and then except it's gonna be a drift brake, because why not? Why not have a little fun? Why not have a little fun? Yeah. So, Dustin, get off my ass now. I worked on my car. Well, with that, I think it's time for a ice cold Michelob Ultra. Zoom in on that. You get that? Oh yeah. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll see you next time. Hey, by the way, please hit the subscribe button. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Helps me out. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.